around 43. Increasingly cloudy tomorrow.
My Weather Edge Weather Center forecast is brought to you by the Joshua Tree.
We're back on Coffee Talk. It is 8:45 here on WPKY, 15 minutes away from the start of the very first job fair, career fair taking place at the Tourism Center in downtown Princeton. Swing by. Remember to have your resume, dress professional, be ready to start that new career today. We're going to talk to Bridgie Miller, and, we don't know what we're going to talk about. We're just going to talk, right, Bridgie?
Just going to get in there and do something on it, Misty. Thank you for having me.
Good morning. Thank you so much for coming this morning.
Also want to echo what Bailey and Michelle said earlier on it. Great times down there, great people down in Fredonia on it, and go down there and enjoy that. They put a lot of effort and work into this on it, but again, great community atmosphere. The 4th of July celebration last year, I mean, the place was packed. And just awesome events down there, and keep it going, and also give generously on it. They're not going to be requiring an admission or anything from what I just heard earlier, listening to them, but give some donations, and I know people will rise up and do that to be able. So again, go Fredonia, and let's have a lot of good support from Princeton, also Ediville, Lyon County, Trigg, and all of Caldwell County down there for the Fredonia community on it.
Yeah, it sounds like they're going to have all kinds of partying going on all summer long and on into the fall, it sounded like, even. So
exactly,
you're not going to miss any entertainment in Fredonia.
Exactly. I'm glad to see that Bailey's looking at the ball leagues coming back and being able to enhance and build upon them on it. Mm-hmm. So anyway,
we're going to talk to her next week about that, get a little more information on
good.
Softball. They got a tournament coming up, and
good.
So
which leads into a segue of what I'd like to talk with you about this morning.
Let's go ahead.
See what we can do. As I look out here right now, as you do, you have great windows right here in front of your studio, and also if people haven't had the opportunity to notice when they come by, especially at night, the letters are lit up and you've got lights over them. So a very nice presence right here that we have. Also, when you have the weather turned to what it is right now, when I talk about presence, you see more people out there on the highway. You see more people walking, more people jogging, taking your dog out there, bicycling on it. You even got some individuals I know that are starting, we're going to pick up a few sticks or twigs in our yard, and then we're going to be coming looking at fertilizing some of it, sowing some grass. Then it gets into mowing and stuff. This is the time of year when you see more people out. When I was county attorney, I used to do public service announcements for the radio station, and one of them that I always would try to do about this time of the year is just be conscious of what you see out there. More activity means more people around, more things going on with it. And when looking at that, give you an example. I've noticed we've got tree trimmers out there. Be careful is what I want to emphasize today about safety that you have. Give these individuals a wide berth. Slow down more so than you have. You got tree trimmers out there working. I think just yesterday I saw those individuals out. I think I also saw the two utility companies out as well, working on lines, doing things. Let's be cautious and safe out there. I know you've already had on your newscast, couple of 2 or 3 roadways out in the county they're going to be doing work on it. It's going to take a little longer. It's going to maybe be some detours on it. Let's also look and just be careful when we come up. Budget a little longer time when you drive in the morning on it, Misty. Budget a little more time to get here because you might be subject to some delays. You might be subject to, we're going to call it inconvenience, but let's face it, to be able to have things fixed, people have to get out there and work. And they should be able to get out there and work and be, and be safe in doing that. School buses at this time throughout the year on it, but I also want to emphasize on school busing. It's a law that you don't pass a stop school bus with the stop arm and the lights going on there. Give them a wide berth on it. We've got some great school bus drivers there, and also monitors that help as well. But let's be sure that we take care of watching the children out there. And if caught or convicted of passing a stop school bus, carries monetary fine, can even possibly carry jail time. And then there's the intrinsic value that goes with it. You don't think about it. Things with a motor vehicle can impact your insurance as well. So let's just be careful out there when we do that. Okay, pop quiz trivia question for you on it, Misty, and I know you'll probably get this one right off the top of the bat.
Oh no.
in my opinion, what has priority on a highway? It's got 4 legs. It's got 4 legs.
Well, okay, I know where we're going with this. You mean riders?
Horses.
Yeah.
Okay, horses on it. Let me just tell you what KRS 189310 says. Every person operating a vehicle on a highway and approaching any animal being ridden or driven shall exercise every reasonable precaution to prevent frightening the animal and to ensure the safety of the person riding or driving it. So,
okay, Bridgie, you just opened a can of worms if you're going to get me talking about that. So I will try to reel myself in when I discuss it, but let's go ahead and talk about that.
There you go. But again, KRS 189.310, that is a law. And when I say they have priority, let's say in my words that they have the priority on there, or have a preference on there, might even be a better word. But the law says, operating a motor vehicle and approaching any animal being ridden or driven shall exercise every reasonable precaution to prevent frightening the animal and ensure the safety of the person riding or driving it. The onus is on you approaching in a vehicle to be able to do that. And the reason I'm bringing this up, I know this is another time when we come out with this time of the year, we have individuals that are out there getting out, more so with horses on it. You can get out on a farm road, country road that we have out in the county. I mean, this county is, I've always said, everybody in the county has a dog, horse, or maybe even both or what have you. They're beautiful animals, but we've got to be sure that we have safety for the animal and safety also for the rider. So if you're out on a highway and you see that animal, give it a wide berth. Go by very slowly around it. Do whatever you need to do for any type of safety measures that you can to ensure that the animal doesn't get frightened on it, and also be sure that the rider is safe as well. Because I'm assuming that an individual who's riding a horse out there is going to be doing their best to keep the animal under control on it. But it's not like a vehicle.
But it's still an animal, and it has its own mind.
Exactly. Where with the car, you can let off the gas, put on the brake, whatever. You can do the same thing with the horse, but it might not respond if they get frightened on it. So
your car is going to respond before my horse will. What was that KRS again, that statute?
I thought you'd want that. That's why I brought it for you, Misty. KRS 189.310.
Point 310?
Yes, ma'am. 189.310.
I know, and let me clarify. I'm not going to name it, but I will clarify that I'm not speaking of Caldwell County. But there is a certain county in which I ride, and the absolute worst vehicles to fly by and not care that there is a human riding a horse along the side of the road would be the county sheriff's office. So I think maybe somebody needs to show them this KRS statute.
Well, and what I was looking at on that as well, it carries with it an individual. I'm trying to find the penalty. It carries a fine with that as well. So I mean, and when we talk about a fine, okay, then you get in court costs. So let me just tell you, $25 fine, you add about $150 on top of that. Now you're looking at $175. That's big money in my book, or whatever. But even more so than that, you don't want anyone hurt.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
The chances are of you falling off of your vehicle while driving aren't all that great. Okay.
Yeah.
But the chances are of falling off a horse, especially if they're frightened on it, ups it a whole lot, even when an animal's not frightened. Like you said earlier, Missy, they're frightened. So be careful when you see them out there. I just wanted to let people know about that, and again, for the third time, every person operating a vehicle on a highway and approaching any animal being ridden or driven shall exercise every reasonable precaution to prevent frightening the animal and to ensure the safety of the person riding or driving it. So, be careful about that and be sure that you know about that, because, I'm also trusting that individuals that are riding their animals are looking for every type of safety precaution they can get as well. But then we who are not on the animal have a responsibility as well, because it says it according to the law.
Absolutely. I am so glad. I did not know this. I am so glad that you brought this up, because I will use this for future reference. But, somebody said to me one time when I was looking at buying a horse, I was asking the temperament of the horse and how they train and everything. And, she told me what she knew about it. And she said, it's a horse. It has 4 legs and a brain. So, just because I'm telling you this is how it is doesn't mean that's how it's going to be tomorrow. And my own personal horses are great on the road. They don't have any trouble. You know, they don't spook. They're great. However, the other day, I went riding, or I didn't go riding. I went walking with my daughter, who took her 2-year-old that she's training down the road. So, you know, just because, yes, we as riders take those precautions, but we also have to get the horses there. You know, we have to get them to that point. Mm-hmm. And we have to rely on, you know, the vehicles to obey the law, now that I know that it's a law, and slow down and take caution. And we have to rely on them to help us to get the horse trained. And beyond that, even if it's just common sense to, you know, to slow down and take caution. You ever see a squirrel try to cross the road? Well, horses are kind of like squirrels in a way, especially if we don't have a hold of them.
And Misty, another thing that people might not think about, if you try to go by anyone, say even you and I are walking, and the tires spin and gravel comes up, well, what that can do to the individual, but also think about the animal out there as well. And that's what I would see out on the country road, or what I would call country road, that someone might be on, you know, spinning that gravel can upset and frighten her. You never know what could be, a bird flying over or whatever like that. I'm just wanting to say,
a plastic bag laying on the ground,
exactly,
not moving.
Yeah, I'm just wanting to bring this to everyone's attention. Let's be sure that we look at that. And then now segue into another one. When I say attention for something, individuals at crosswalks. Mm-hmm. Okay, you see an individual at a crosswalk, I always try to make the point, when I know they're wanting to cross, they're standing in that crosswalk for a reason.
Right.
And they're looking to cross. Stop your vehicle. Do not go around. Let them get by, because, you know, between your vehicle and a pedestrian, you know, who's going to end up mm-hmm. coming out better if there's an accident on it? It's going to be the individual who is driving the vehicle. Okay, mm-hmm. So be careful on pedestrians that are going by, and I get that. Same thing with this type. I'm looking out the window right now. I'm seeing somebody on a bicycle there. You know, they're out getting some exercise, enjoying this beautiful day that God's created. And so let's just be sure that we have safety first and foremost, so we can be sure that we, you know, are able to enjoy all that we have. You know, and here's 2 runners going by as well. I'm sure you see it, you know, constantly. I don't want to know everything you see that comes right. through. But now, you know, they're coming here and enjoying the day, but be careful as well as to what we have. And same thing with your animals out there with it. You know, the dogs are, ordinances are here in the city of Princeton about what you can do with animals on it. Be sure that they're taken care of. And just, you know, this type of weather, everybody wants to get after being cooped up for you know, colder weather. So let's just be careful when we get out there. Enjoy it, but be sure that we have safety first.
Absolutely. All right, Bridgie. So safety was our topic that
exactly.
we decided to go with for today.
Exactly.
And you know, I mean, a lot of it is, and I know that we get in a hurry. You know, we've got to be places, and we have a schedule, and we've got, you know, 5 million other things on our mind. I get that, but just, you know, take 30 seconds to slow down and go around, and, you know, the person walking, the person riding their horse, the person who's got their little dog on their leash, just, you know, it's okay. You'll get to where you need to be on time, and everybody's safe if you just slow down for just a little bit.
And exactly. I also want to say, same thing goes with, you know, I look at it, you've got to watch out for yourself on the highway. You also have to look out for the other vehicles on the highway as well. But what you said earlier, some common sense that you also look at, and respect goes a long way with it. Funeral processions is another one. When you see the funeral procession out there, stop, give the respect for them in it, because you said just aptly, we know we're in a hurry, we know we've got to get somewhere, but you'll get there. Let's just be sure that we get there safely on it as well.
So you bring this up. Let me just ask real quickly: is there a law about that? Is it a law to stop for a funeral procession, or is it a courtesy?
I was trying to find that in here, because I really don't want to come up and say, you know, one way or the other on it, without being able to quote you with the statute mm-hmm. on that. But I will find that and bring that back to you on it. I do know that. I believe, now again, I'm saying belief, okay? I believe there is a law on that, but insofar as being able to find it and quote it to you on it, that I might have, some problem with that on it. Like I said, I'm trying to look quickly here in my book to see if I can find that. But at the same point in time, it just makes sense to do so with it. And the same thing with emergency vehicles as well.
Well, now I know there's a law about that.
Right, there's on that, when you have emergency vehicles. Also talking about when you're on a 4-lane highway and you see emergency vehicle on the right, move to the other lane to be able, to give them on that. But I will try to find that for you and text it back to you where you can.
I can use it later.
You can use that later on or whatever. Or you can probably have me come back or whatever.
I will do that. I will do that.
Watch those workers out there as well of what they're doing. I know they're doing a great job flagging and things, but again, you might have to detour something. So what? They're beautifying with it. Picking up some things. Watch those individuals out there.